Hi, this is Mike Harnois reporting for Demtech. Now, I think it's safe to say that very few, if any of you out there, have ever heard about wire recording. So let me start from the beginning. All a wire recorder is a machine that puts sound onto a thin metal wire, much in the same way that a modern-day tape player would to a tape, via electromagnetic charge. It was invented in 1888 by Oberlin Smith when he published a description of the machine in Electrical World. Unfortunately, Smith never was able to get a working model of the device made, so all that survived him was a sketch of his first design. It was not until 1898 that a patent was made on the technology by Vladimir Putin. At this point, the wire recording industry had its start. Although it never gained mass popularity on the same scale as, say, records or tape players which followed them, wire recording was a successful enterprise. Being that the medium was contained on a metal wire, it was very durable and resisted breakage. Another good thing about wire media is that it is small and thin, unlike tape, which came later. Wire, being that it is round, could be run through the player in whichever direction the person placed it in, with no loss of fidelity or sound quality at all. Wire recording saw its most important usage when it was contracted to be used in World War II for the military. These recorders were now much smaller than the original machines and ran on two small batteries. They were used for entertainment of the troops, as well as to transfer and record some messages from person to person, whether it be within the military or to family and friends back home. These wire recorders, like almost everything that was used in the war, was then contracted to be made for commercial and educational use. They would be found in some classrooms and even in people's homes. The technology became less expensive and started to become more versatile. It was not uncommon for a wire recorder to be packaged with a record player to make itself one of the first multimedia pieces of equipment. Being that people could both listen to and record on this wire media, it made it an interesting way to send a message. It is completely feasible that a smart young person, much like myself, could have utilized a wire recorder to record a message to send to their family back home, even if they were thousands of miles away, which would have been much cheaper than making a long-distance call at the time. These recorders were around for a relatively short while, dating from 1898 when it was invented, up to the 1940s when they really became accessible to the public, all the way until 1956 when the last few were contracted to be made. And although the wire recorders themselves have died out, you could still see its influences in modern-day tape recorders, because after all, a tape is a magnetic strip, and recording onto it follows the exact same principles as does a wire. So although this is a dead media, it is not hard to find a few of its children lingering around these days, which makes me think, is it really dead, or just masquerading as something different? Once again, this has been Michael Harnois reporting for Demtech. You stay classy, sir.